I don't see the attraction to Katseye. I understood it at the beginning when Dream Academy was announced, but as it aired, not so much. I keep seeing comments certain that they're going to be the next global girl group phenomenon with absolutely no justification for this claim. Yes, Katseye is capable, but almost anyone is. On a global scale, what makes them different or worthy of the attention from outside parties hasn't been proven yet. Even in comparison to other hit global groups, like Fifth Harmony and Little Mix, Katseye's songs, debut and Touch, did not go anywhere near as viral as Fifth Harmony and Little Mix's debuts, and both those groups came out before the age of mass streaming and didn't have $2 billion labels backing them. Which is why I think putting all this expectation on them to do the unlikely at this point in time is too much pressure, wish fulfillment, and actually not fair to their development. I'm really watching history repeat itself, like how people overhyped ITZY by claiming they'd be the next Blackpink. And while ITZY is not doing bad, they sure as hell ain't anywhere near Blackpink status. Nothing against them, but my interest is not equating to the excessive hype, and I can't possibly be the only one. Generally speaking, I think there is 4 major individual reasons why people are fans of a group, with all of them being equally as valid in my opinion. 1. You like the group's music. I love S-pop music more than I like anything else. Hell, the only member I actually like is Ning Ning, but their music slaps. 2. You like the group's performance style. I don't care for their music much, but I'm watching ITZY perform every chance I get. 3. You like the group's personalities. It was completely worth becoming a fan of Zero Base One because as people and entertainers they're amazing. If you're considering getting into them, this is your sign. And 4. You find this group attractive. And Katseye doesn't check off any of these boxes for me. Before some delusional ass icon sums up my reasoning to be racism, it's not. I literally had a conversation with an icon where they used PTSD as an excuse to call any criticism of Katseye to just be racist, even when absolutely nothing racist was said. I'm a loyal fan of other global groups like Flow and a die-hard fan of Little Mix. I'm waiting for their reunion as we speak. It's not always racism. Sometimes people just don't like what you like. They're not bad or untalented, but nothing about them is making me want to be even a casual fan. It's been almost 2 years since we've known about them and I haven't been slightly wowed. I thought their performance at Mama was good, but I was expecting that much since they come from HYBE. They meet the performance standards I have of HYBE idols, so they'd have to get more chances to perform with choreography I think actually looks good in order for me to fully flesh out whether I enjoy watching them do so. The performance criteria for me is neutral for now. By the time debut and Touch finally came around, my interest was basically zero. Besides it being high-key strange as hell to me that certain members are still friends with Adele, there's nothing wrong with their personalities per se. They're just young women. I think 99.9% of icons are still just K-pop fans, so the littlest things that Katseye do and say that the average idol doesn't get to, gets blown out of proportion. Like Lara saying she's a little fruity, through the lens of a K-pop fan so used to K-pop content and K-pop social norms. Lara admitting this is shocking, otherworldly, takes bravery worth crying over. But for me, I'm viewing them through the lens of them being a Western group because they are a Western group. So the news that she's a little fruity wasn't some canon-breaking reality warping event. It just is what it is. In the West, female pop stars being a lil fruity is not shocking. Personality-wise, if you've seen any semi-popular content house, you've seen Katseye. They're all pretty women, but I'm not attracted to any of them. I know some people don't understand the difference because I've had this discussion before where some people think if you say you're unattracted to someone that's the same as just blatantly calling them ugly. Sudanese-American model Anakyai is one of the most beautiful women I have ever seen in my entire life. I don't think I'll ever see anyone as beautiful, and that's why I support the advancement in her career. But she's not making my heart skip a beat because despite her beauty, I'm not attracted to her. Katseye isn't ugly, especially not by the beauty standard. But I'm not attracted to them, so they don't meet the criteria for me on that either. The generic songs on their EP did not make me see the light, and having to wait almost a whole year for new music in order to give them a second chance is crazy. I've seen people try and justify this damn near year-long wait for new music as something that's normal for Western artists, and no the fuck it's not. Maybe for well-established artists like Ariana Grande can take 3 years and Rihanna can take 10 years without making music. But up-and-coming artists can't do that shit because the first 3 years are meant to convince people you're not a temporary music trend. Newer acts like Glorilla, Doechii, Tate McRae, and even Ice Spice have been releasing songs with short spans of time in between for a reason. The average person or the general public in the West don't even know who Katseye is yet, and again, K-pop fans have known about them for almost 2 years now. Outside of brand deals, their lack in consistency isn't part of some Western marketing masterclass. I assume it's because of Geffen, who has a well-known history of mismanaging their girl groups, because even HYBE K-pop groups are promoted better in the West than them. Being an up-and-coming artist with plenty of resources and only putting out a 4-song EP and one eventually to come single in the span of 2 years is crazy. So I'm not wrong for being bored by them. Lara and Sophia are the only standout vocalist in the group. They're insanely talented, and that's really to Katseye's advantage, but their songs so far don't showcase even half of what those two are capable of. So they don't meet the music criteria either. Because of the Pussycat Dolls cover they did in Dream Academy, I thought their debut concept was going to be sorta like the concept they're doing for Gnarly. Slightly dark, sassy, powerful. So when they debuted with the puff piece that is the Sissy P, I was so disappointed. And while Gnarly seems to be leaning into the concept I was originally anticipating, the food motifs in the trailer look goofy and comedic like Jay Park's McNasty music video. I acknowledge that it could just be a me thing because I've rarely seen good be used thematically in a music video and it didn't look goofy as hell. If Gnarly doesn't end up hittin', my interest in being a fan will be completely over. It doesn't help that anytime I've tried to get into it more, I see icons being annoying and gross solo stands, or cyberbullying another girl group, especially other multiracial groups, calling them Katseye 2.0, or calling them less talented and less pretty than Katseye. I like multiple girl groups, I always have, and never have I ever understood the competitive nature of pinning women against each other just for the sake of it. Katseye currently has no competition for the spotlight, and even if they did, so what? TLC and the Spice Girls were making history at the same time from different countries. Little Mix and Fifth Harmony were both iconic at the same time and even shared a record label. If Hybe tries their hand at a second racially diverse girl group, which why wouldn't they? They have multiple K-pop groups. Why wouldn't they have more than one global group in their quest for industry domination? I think icons are going to treat them very poorly in a similar way to how Bunnies' New Jeans' fandom is threatened by Islet and treat them poorly. I think I'll save an in-depth video about why I don't like icons for later, with evidence of course, because anytime I've tried to bring up how bad the fandom is even before Katseye debuted, I was gaslit and heard like I was making shit up to make the fandom look bad. But I do want to say while there's a bad side to every fandom, not every fandom is known for being shit more than anything else. I'm only actually a fan of 3 Hybe groups, but I enjoy participating in the fandoms of most of them, and the fandom atmosphere surrounding Katseye is incredibly ignorant, toxic and unenjoyable, when a large appeal to being a part of a fandom is getting to enjoy the community that forms. I'm a fan of aespa, and have been for years, but I don't even call myself a Mai because I don't participate in the fan culture surrounding aespa, due to mice being shit. So when a group like Katseye comes along and I don't care for their music and can't seem to find the good part of the fandom, I'm likely not going to become a fan. And I was so excited to see what a multiracial group from a major K-pop label would be like. I guess that's the difference between Hybe and Hybe Corporation though. It'd make sense not to expect the same things because they're run by different people. As time goes by, everything I've said is liable to change because it's so subjective, so there's no need to take it personally. And even though I was talking from my specific perspective, I do think other people will start to share the same sentiments if they haven't already. Brand deals are great, but that's not what sells music or an artist. That is, unless Hybe Corporation and Geffen Records plan on marketing them similarly to how YG did Blackpink.